To the United States now, and many skeptics are saying that the latest attempt to get Trump is underway. Those who would weaponize the criminal justice system for political gain are hoping that at long last, after so many previous failed attempts, that this might be the thing that finally stops the evil orange man. I don't think so. He's 30 percentage points ahead of his nearest contender for the Republican nomination. And the polls now show that if he does become the nominee, he'll beat Biden in November next year. But never has so much been done by so many to crush a current or former president in America. It's a very sad state of affairs for Australia's most important ally and the country that's supposed to be a beacon to the world of what can come of liberty and democracy at its best. It fascinates me that the very same people who cry that Trump put at risk the conventions and institutions of American justice and its political systems and good governance continue to be the ones doing the most damage to all conventions and institutions. In the light of what we know about Joe Biden's family's potentially questionable activities, and in light of how trivial the matters in this case against Trump appear to be, it's hard, even if you detest Donald Trump, to see this as anything but opportunistic political use of the criminal justice system. Something we're seeing all too much of lately, and not just in America. Here's how ABC News America reported on Trump's court appearance in Florida on Wednesday morning, Australian time.
Former president in court today facing criminal charges from the very government he was once elected to lead. Today, Trump entered a plea of not guilty to a sprawling 37-count criminal indictment. Traveling to the Miami courthouse alone this afternoon, Trump was seen waving out of the car window. The former president was fingerprinted, but no mugshot was taken. Then, for the first time, Trump came face-to-face with special counsel Jack Smith. Magistrate Judge Jonathan Goodman, who oversaw the hearing, ordered Trump not to discuss the case with any witnesses. Outside of the court, there was a festive atmosphere. Most of the hundreds who showed up were there to support Trump, while others were there in protest.
Trump calls it a witch hunt, more of a persecution than a prosecution. He faces decades in prison if convicted. The former US Attorney General, William Barr, says the case against Trump is, quote, very, very damning, and if even half of it is true, he is toast. So what are the charges? ABC America's legal contributor, former FBI agent Asha Rangappa, says it's a strong case against the former president.
So on the Espionage Act charges, the 31 documents that are each one count for each document that's in there, that has to be national defense information. That is a part of the violation, to willfully retain that and not give it up when an official comes and asks for it. And we see that this is clearly national defense information. It's nuclear secrets. It's our military strategy. So I think that part they definitely have down. On the obstruction and false statements, they have very hard evidence. They have audio tapes, they have text messages, they have photographs that will all come to, going to the intent to conceal and prevent the FBI from getting this. This really gets to the heart of the obstruction, because the hardest element to prove there is the intent. And here you have it in words and recordings.
Now, there's no doubt these documents had sensitive contents. The question is, were they seriously at risk of being found or leaked? What malicious intent might Trump have had in having these documents? He has Secret Service agents around him at all times. How come they didn't pick it up if it was such a risk? What was the motive here? A former president has never been charged like this before. What did other former presidents have in their garages? The most serious charge here is the claim that Trump tried to hide the documents from the authorities and conspired with his lawyer to do so. If they're going to get him on something, that'll be it. And that's the bit that has some Republicans thinking this might be the case that finally brings Trump down. But I wouldn't bet on it. Senior Republicans, especially those running against Trump to be the Republican Party's candidate for the next election, are starting to distance themselves from Trump and are saying this is a serious matter. Trump's detractors always seem to forget that the former president remains hugely popular. He is by far the frontrunner for this race to be the Republican nominee, and he still has the support of roughly half the country. A state of affairs that, no matter the legal details here, suggests that America is in for a lot more division and anguish in the years ahead. If you enjoyed that content, there's lots more where that came from. The Other Side Australia is back every Tuesday and Friday on ADH TV and all good podcast platforms. It's your weekly short circuit summary of the best news commentary from Australia and abroad. Don't miss it.